unit went out and started to spin on him. However, he was looking at the rate gyros as the backup instrument, made his own analysis real fast and said, let's press right. At that time, then Al Bean was able to reset the fuel cells, and by the time that they got past staging, they had the AC buses back on the line working 1, 2, 3, 4. I think this also brings out the point that when everything just went boom like that suddenly as far as the loss of power and all the other indications is an example of why we have experienced test pilots flying these vehicles. The latest information, everything looks good. Dick Gordon had the platform realigned as soon as they hit darkness over Africa, started it, and it came into darkness at 32 minutes. All the systems looks good. We've ran a series test besides what's normally done. Everything looks great, and it looks like we'll all go for TLI.
Okay, before I mentioned 15 minutes. We understand from Houston that they'll be coming up with air ground at 45 minutes past the hour on the Australian Pass. Now, if you people want to continue this conference, this means we would not receive the information from Houston. It would be taped and passed on. Now, do you want to do that, or do you want to terminate and hear the pass? We've still got about 5 minutes. I'm trying to point out we'll be glad to try to answer more questions, but we can't interfere with the mission at the same time. We've got about 3 minutes left. We'll take Mr. Partner over here.
I'd like to ask 2 quick questions. First, Conrad says he thinks it was hit by lightning. And do you agree that that would cause this boom that you talk about, Tom? The second is, will this outage affect the lunar module?
Well, first of all, I think it's only speculation. The Saturn right now, the data in the Saturn instrument unit did not show any glitches at all, and it's only speculation. Vibration, as you go out, could have unseated a relay. It's only speculation. I think we have to look at the data. It looks like everything else is go, and I don't see any problems. Does that answer the question?
Well, can you tell whether it was lightning or not by looking at the data?
I think we're pretty certain that it was not lightning. If the vehicle had been struck by lightning, the damage would have been quite severe rather than have a momentary dropout. The thing that really hurt us was the fact that the fuel cells went off the bus. The entry batteries were not able to maintain voltage at the same level, and as a result of that, we lost our AC power. It was all the consequence of the fact that we had the transient that made the fuel cells go off the line, and everything happened as a consequence of that one fact.
Also, from this fact, I think it's significant that the computer is probably the most sensitive item you have in the whole spacecraft, and the erasable memory was not hurt one bit.
Now, we are doing our best at this time to attempt to clarify that whole situation. We have people looking over data, and as soon as it got, obviously, Pete Conrad did make those remarks, and nobody has been able to show it yet at this time. We're looking over the data. It's an obvious question that you all want answered, and so do we, and we're doing our best to get it. As soon as we can get clarification on that, we'll let you know.
Really good.
You want to go ahead, Ed?
Is it possible that whatever caused this could affect the LEM in any way?
Of course, it's possible. I can't say that it wasn't. We intend to establish the switch settings and circuit breaker settings.
You have 2 data points. The Saturn IU was in great shape. Now the spacecraft shaped aluminum, and so from that, things are looking good.
Rudy, over here. We'll try to get as many as you can right here in this row. Rudy,
Tom, was there a momentary loss of voice communication?
I don't think there was any momentary loss of voice communication out right away. Bus 1 and 2 and all like that.
Up here, Mr. Self. Right in there.
There were two lightning parallel to the launch vehicle at the time of liftoff, which we could see from here. I was wondering if you saw them and if you could identify what they were.
I was looking at the console myself. I didn't see them.
Houston is coming up at this point. We'll have to hold here for a moment. Let's see how long the pass is. If you gentlemen can for a few minutes, let's see what happens. Otherwise, we'll call it out.
The point in time was approximately 36 seconds after liftoff.
11:22. I haven't got an exact
11:22, and according to figures I have, we lifted off 670 milliseconds. In other words, 11:22 and 0.67 seconds.
How about preparation vibrations all on schedule exactly?
Yes, I can give you those numbers if you'd like to have them. We had, as I said, we had a little less than 0.7 of a second off nominal liftoff time. S1C center engine cutoff was exactly on time. Outboard engine cutoff of the first stage was 0.7 of a second after nominal. S1C, S2 separation occurred 0.7 of a second after nominal. S2 ignition occurred 1.7 seconds after nominal. S2 center engine cutoff, which is by command, incidentally, that was 0.7 of a second after nominal. The S2 outboard engines cutoff occurred 1.1 seconds early. S2 S4B separation occurred 1 second early. Now, these times are all well within what we've done on any other mission before as far as our performance is concerned.
We'll have those numbers for you. Go ahead, Mark.
Mr. Kapryan, something I don't quite understand. You had until 10 minutes of 4 to lift off today. You've got the hybrid trajectory, which you can play around with. You had, in effect, plenty of time. Why did you decide to go at 11:22 a.m. in view of what you admit were unpredictable weather predictions?
Because of the fact that the weather was unpredictable, we had no assurance that the weather would be any better. We had some indications that it might be deteriorating. We were getting on almost a constant basis report that said that it's going to look better in the next 10 minutes. Then it says, no, it's going to look a lot worse. Once you go into a hold, it's a lot harder to get going again. And once we were able to establish within the last 15 minutes, and when we had the report from the Araya aircraft that they did not see any lightning, we did not measure any potential gradient, and the reports were that the turbulence was extremely mild, we met all of the requirements of our mission rules and saw no reason to hold.
We're coming up on TLI. I'm going to take 3 more questions. Over here first, he's been waiting patiently, Mary and BK, and we'll have to cut it off. These gentlemen want to get back, and I'm sure you also want to hear TLI. Go ahead, sir.
If I'd been on top of the booster, I would have wanted to go this morning under those same conditions, because this front over here was not supposed to move in. It's awful hard to predict this. I'm going to derive the weathermen. They have a rough job, and they do a good job. And back and forth like that, 4 hours later, could have still been the same thing. Then we had to scrub the next month. So as far as the risk, we have all these real sophisticated instruments all over the Cape for the potentials, and these are registering down way below any limits. So so as far as we could predict, there was no risk going. I've flown through lots of weather in my life.
Okay, Mary.
Tom, 2 questions. What other causes could it be besides the lightning or this vibration causing a relay to fall out? Do you have any other suggestions? And also, secondly, if there is any problem in the limb systems caused by whatever caused this other problem, what would you do? Would you loop the moon, come back, or try for some photography around the moon, or just what?
No, I think, again, Mary, it's way too early to speculate on what caused it. It could have been a pure mechanical failure. And, again, people like they saw a couple of bolts of lightning, evidently, but I'd hate to say that lightning caused that. There's so many things that could have caused it. And this is what the agency's been noted for, as a thorough investigation. That's what. So if the limb turns out to be no good, we'll go into a photo mapping mission to bootstrap for our follow-on link.
Okay, BK.
Colonel Stafford, you said you were looking at the console and didn't see the lightning. Did anyone in the flying report seeing the lightning that we observed from the site here?
Not to me. Nobody mentioned that to me.
I heard no report of any sight of...
we had quite a few people looking out after liftoff and, after the consoles, and none of us reported to me that they saw it.
There were some people looking at it with glasses. I heard nobody say that it was lightning as such. There were some things that might have been seen. I know some people in the control center thought was concerned with the fire and the flames. And that is the information we have right now. Really? Well, look, I told you at the start, we're going to, as soon as we get any information on what this is about, we'll be glad to relay it on to you. You keep on asking and asking and